Hello, everyone who's joined us so far. We haven't officially started the webinar yet, just because we are going to wait a few more minutes for more attendees to join us. So we'll just be in a bit of silence until we have more attendees, and then we can start the webinar. So to keep things fun for everyone who has joined us so far, I would love for you guys to introduce yourselves. If you can just tell me on chat, your name, where in the world you're joining us from today, as well as which Nexford program you have your eyes set on. So what Nexford program are you actually interested to apply to? I'd love to learn more about you. You can just, everybody can get a little bit more introduced on chat before we officially start the webinar. Okay, first one is Adiogun Wali is your name. Nice to meet you. Thanks for joining us today. Are you interested in any specific program, Adiogun? We have Joshua Aja. Hi. Hi, Fasakin. AP. Sheila from Nigeria MBA. If I'm saying the names wrong, guys, I apologize, but I do want to give you a hello back. Omotola Rachel Alakunle, sorry. So Adeleke, you're interested in an MBA with a specialization in future of automation. That is a great choice. Hi, Amarachi from Lagos, Nigeria. You're interested in BBA, in a BBA in business analytics. That's an amazing choice as well. A very popular one. Hi, Ezekiel. Hi, Miriam. We have Ashiro Ahmed also from Lagos, Nigeria. A lot of people interested in the MBA. I'm glad to hear that. Hi, Charlotte Tenaru from South Africa. Nice to meet you. Also interested in an MBA. We have Ardil from Indonesia. Nice to meet everybody. Thanks for joining us today. I love that we have a couple of learners, or aspiring learners anyway, from around the world. So this is fantastic. Hey, I feel like we've waited long enough to have some people join us. Again, thanks everybody for introducing yourselves, and thanks for joining us today. I think we can officially start our webinar. Okay, so first of all, let me start sharing my screen. In order for me to share my screen, guys, it may lag just for a few seconds or freeze. Don't be alarmed. You're still in the webinar. We're still here. Let's just give it a few seconds. All right, guys. I believe everybody can see my screen now. A little confirmation on chat would be great. If everybody can hear me fine, this is super important before we continue the webinar. I just want to double check with everybody that everyone's hearing me just fine. Okay, fantastic. Thanks, guys. Thanks for confirming. Okay, so let me just first introduce myself, guys, in case you haven't already seen all the info. My name is Mai, and I'm a Nexford advisor. I've been with Nexford University for over 3 years now, and it's been a fantastic journey. I've spoken with so many learners around the world, especially aspiring learners. And one of the most common questions I get, of course, is how exactly will I be studying online at Nexford? How does the online platform look like? And that is exactly why we're here today. And by we, I mean the fantastic people I also have on board with me in the call. So we have a faculty member, Dr. Bill Reed, who's here today with us as well to tell us more about the MBA. We also have two learners. We have Alan, who's actually an MBA graduate. So that's a first that we're having here today. So I'm sure he's going to have a lot of insight for us. So we have Alan Adebayo from Nigeria, and we have Ryan Marais from South Africa, who is currently with us as well. I'd love for you guys to introduce yourselves. If we can please start with Dr. Bill.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thanks so much for joining today. I've been with Nexford for a couple of years now, and I live in the United States. My background, I live just about on the horizon, about 100 kilometers south of New York City. I do a lot of teaching with the MBA, and if you enroll, which we hope you do, I have a good chance of being one of the first professors you'll run into. I think you'll find our classrooms inviting. I think you'll find them informative, which is what you'd be joining us to learn. And of course, that's first and primary. And we do have a good group of people here today to talk to you about that. But I just wanted to say thank you for coming, and I'll have more to say a little bit later. But greetings, and I hope you learned something today.
I'm sure we will. Thanks a lot, Dr. Bill. All right, I'd love to hear from Ryan. If you can also introduce yourself and let everybody know what you're studying at Nexford and how long you've been at Nexford, and anything else you want to say about yourself to everybody.
Okay, thanks, Maya. I really appreciate that. My name is Ryan Murray. I am representing from Cape Town, South Africa. I'm currently studying the MBA, hoping to specialize in sustainability and artificial intelligence at the end. So it's going to be a fantastic journey. I'm learning a lot with Nexford, number two. I'm learning a lot from different people around the world, which is fantastic. I work for a company called A&B Investments, where I am the customer relationship manager. So working with relationships is fantastic for me, and building relationships is super fantastic for me. So I can't wait for everyone to see what's planned for today. Please ask your questions. I'm more than happy to answer them. And yes, I hope you all join Nexford.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot, Ryan. Okay, and we'd love to hear next from Alan, who is an MBA graduate. So please tell us a bit about yourself, as well as your anything else really, any Nexford experience related thing.
Everyone, so good to be here. My name is Alan Adebayo. I'm an MBA graduate from Nexford University. I specialize in sustainability. It's not a coincidence that Ryan is also specialized in sustainability. I hope to see all of you come specialize in sustainability too. I think that's one of the best specializations. I am the executive director of Allen Fortress. Interestingly, one of the companies I started while on my MBA journey with Nexford University. What we do is it's a hybrid international development and management consultancy organization. We help companies, foundations, impact investors, and governments solve the most pressing problems of developing nations. I'm based in Abuja, Nigeria. I look forward to an exciting time today. Thank you.
Amazing. Thanks a lot, Alan. All right, so that is who we have on board today, guys. That means we can officially start the webinar now to show you the online platform. But just before I do, for anybody who is just joining in, don't worry, you haven't missed much yet, just introductions. And this is being recorded, so you will get a recording at your mailbox. You should also be able to watch a playback on Nexford's YouTube channel once it's uploaded in a day or so. It often doesn't take very long, so don't worry. That's one thing to keep in mind. Second, please, if you have any questions, make sure to start sending them into the Q&A box or the Q&A section so we can get to them at the end of the webinar. We'll be more than excited to answer all of your questions. So don't feel shy, don't hesitate. You can send any Nexford related questions to us. You can direct them also to our learners. You can direct them to Dr. Bill. It's a great opportunity today for you guys to learn as much as you can about the Nexford online experience. All right, so with that, let's get started. Okay, so I believe everyone can see my screen. So what you're currently seeing is the Nexford online platform. So we're actually using the learning management system called Canvas. This is known to be adopted by top universities like Harvard and Oxford, and I'm sure our learners are loving the experience so far. It's very user-friendly. So let me show you how it works. The important thing also to note about this platform is that you can actually download the Canvas application, right? So this works for Android, it works for iPhone as well. So that means, you can definitely have it on your phone. It's a great benefit if you want to study on the go. You can still access, your program. You can still do assignments and so much more. All right, so this is the main homepage. So of course, I'm not an expert learner, but this is a demo account through which I can show you how the online platform looks like. And just FYI, you get access to this online platform as soon as you get enrolled at Nexford. And we're going to talk a bit probably about that today, the difference between applying and enrolling and what does it mean to enroll. But that means when you're fully registered, at Nexford to start your program. And keeping in mind, you can always choose to start your program a little further ahead. So even when you enroll, you don't have to start your program right away. So that means by the time, you've finalized in your enrollment to the time you actually start your program, you'll have all that time, which can be up to 3 months, to access this online platform, to go through it, to get acquainted with it, and so much more. You also get access to all the learner benefits, which we're going to go through today as well. You can get access to that even before you start learning your program. Okay, so what are we looking at here? So we're seeing these 4 boxes in the middle, right? These represent mostly the Nexford courses that you're already enrolled in, right? But there are 2 things here that aren't an official part of your Nexford program, which is the NXU Orientation as well as the Writing Lab. So let me tell you a bit about that. First of all, the NXU Orientation, this is more like a welcome package or the welcome, course that the orientation course that you need to go through before you start your official Nexford program. So this has everything you need to know to get started. Of course, I'm going to show you how that looks like so you guys get a better idea as well. So once you open the NXU orientation, it takes you to this page. Of course, I can open the modules for you where I can show you that the orientation is much shorter than any Nexford course. So all of the Nexford courses have the same sort of design. They have 6 modules and a final project, right? Whereas the NXU orientation, you'll see it has 3 modules as well as just a closing. So it's much shorter. And what it contains, of course, is all the info that you need in order to know how to navigate through the online platform, how to reach out to your professors, what is a success advisor, how to reach out to them, how they can help you, how you can connect with other learners, and so much more. So this has all the tools that you need in order to get used to the online platform and know how to reach out for help when necessary. So this is the orientation. Let me tell you guys a bit about it. Of course, we start with a welcome video here from our founder and our CEO, Fadl Tarzi. I would like to play this for you guys just for a few seconds to give you an idea about these sort of embedded videos.
It's been said that the future is a convenient place for dreams, so why not dream big? I've always known education changes lives, but I first realized its impact over a decade ago. On my entrepreneurial journey, I saw a gap between the skills of college graduates and the needs of employers. With my own startups, I struggled to find people with the right competencies. For example, I couldn't find a software engineer with effective communication skills.
All right, so that's just a sneak peek for you guys. Of course, you can watch it in its entirety, hopefully once you get enrolled at Nexford. But also the point that I want to sort of highlight with this is that, this is just a small example of the many different elements through which you're going to be doing your studying at Nexford. So it's not just going to be a lot of text. We don't want our learners falling asleep. You'll find, embedded videos like these. You'll find there are also audio clips, blog length articles, outside resources, maybe embedded YouTube videos, little quizzes, little exercises here and there. There's always something to keep you engaged. And hopefully I get the chance to show you a bit more about those different elements today. So after every video, you'll find that there is a written transcript that you can download, which can make it so much easier, of course. And as you go through the orientation, you'll also see that it tells you about different learner benefits and communities. So there's something called learning communities, which are led by other Nexford learners. This is a great opportunity for you to join, from the beginning. Especially they have different topics depending on what you're interested in. So whether it's HR or entrepreneurship, maybe finance, marketing, and so on. So this is something I would definitely recommend. Aside from those, you'll also find learner WhatsApp groups, so these study groups can be super helpful. It can be a great, community of support that you can join right from the beginning. You'll find that there's a ton of WhatsApp groups, and there are new ones getting created, I think even monthly. Some of them are country specific, some of them are program specific, others are intake specific. So it really depends on what you're looking for. And definitely you can join more than one WhatsApp group. You can even create your own. So this is what the orientation is all about. As you keep going through it, it tells you about all the different things you can use, you can access to help you. It'll tell you more about, of course, the Nexford, starter kit. So you'll go through also, let's say the PDF. It'll tell you about all of our programs, all of our offerings, course ordering. How can you take more than one course at the same time? What is a leave of absence? At any point, if you need to pause your program, how can you do that? How can you request for that? Of course, deadlines. You're going to be very well acquainted of what your deadlines are throughout your course, and so much more. So I really believe the orientation is such a crucial part. Of course, it is mandatory that you complete it before jumping into your Nexford program. So I really think it's going to ease anybody's mind, and the fact that you can access this way early on, before you even start your course, is a great benefit, so that you can know everything, quite early before you get started. And just to let you know, that was sort of a minimized view of the platform. You can always open it in another window and it sort of gets maximized like that. So the platform is quite user-friendly, I think, and it's quite dynamic. So you can definitely change how you use it. So that is the NXU orientation, guys. Just to recap, this is not a course that is within any MBA program that you get enrolled in. It's just a welcome package, an orientation course that you need to complete at the beginning, and it's much shorter than any Nexford course. The other thing is the writing lab, but let's just take a pause and jump into that in a few seconds. I just want to talk about the sort of simple elements you can see in the main platform here. So on the side, you can see this navigation pane on the left side, right? So this, as well as this Ask NXU tool, these follow you no matter where you go through the platform, as you can see. It's always there. And so the navigation pane has different things like your account. Of course, you can put as much information as you want there. Courses, so this gives you an overview of the courses that you're enrolled in. And then there's an inbox, I'll show you in a second, calendar as well. History is super useful. Of course, it takes you back to the most recent things that you've clicked on in the platform if you need to go back to it quickly. And then finally, at the bottom are the different Nexford benefits, right? So we'll get to that as well. Let me for now show you the calendar. So you'll see in the calendar that there are different events here. So these are reminders that get added automatically depending on the course that you're enrolled in. So this way you never fall behind. You will get reminders for these, deadlines. You can definitely add your own event if you like. You can make it as detailed or as brief as you like. It's up to you. If you wanted to make it more detailed, of course, you can just click on more options and it'll take you to this page. You can flesh out that event much more. And if I go back, you'll notice that they're sort of color coded, right? So they have these different colors, which is something you can actually control from the homepage here. It's one of the little fun features that we have. You'll see these have different colors. It's something you can change anytime. Maybe this will help you. For some people are more visual, maybe this can help you with the calendar, for example. You have the option to do this color overlay. If you'd rather see it in that color the whole time. So these are just some sort of fun features you can play around with. So that is the calendar. Next, I want to show you the inbox. So this is one of the easiest ways that you can communicate with anybody in the organization. Here, you're going to be receiving also announcements from faculty, and I'll tell you more about that in a bit. But most importantly, you can compose your own message at any time. You can select, for example, a course that you're enrolled in, let's say leadership and organizational development. And then maybe you want to speak to a teacher or a student. Let's say in this case, you want to speak to a student. just pick who that is, put a subject line, write your message and send. And it's that easy to contact somebody. So that is one of the many ways you can reach out to other learners or your professor, or even anybody, of course, faculty, or our writing lab coach, Caroline, which is related to the writing lab that I will get to very soon. So this is it's as easy as that. Of course, you can also email professors, you can email our success team. So there are email addresses as well if you prefer that route. And of course, the inbox is something you can access on the mobile application as well. So you can definitely send out messages from your phone also. All right, so that is the calendar in the inbox. And now I think we're actually ready to talk about, actually, no, let's talk about the writing lab towards the end, as well as with the benefits. But for now, I've shown you the NXU Orientation, and that is quite a short course. So let me for now talk about, let's say you are enrolled in this course instead. So this is Leadership and Organizational Development. This is an MBA course. And let's say you're scheduled to start this on September 1st. So Nexford's programs start on the beginning of every month. So you're already enrolled in this course. Let's say you're a little hesitant, you're feeling a little nervous, and you want to know who is actually going to be teaching this course, what other learners are enrolled in this course with you. You can actually see that from the beginning just by clicking on people. So you'll be able to see who the professor is. You'll be able to see who else is enrolled in that. In this case, see where it says teacher. So actually Dr. Bill is the professor for this course. So I'd love to give the mic now to Dr. Bill to tell us a little more about leadership and organizational development.
Thank you, Maya. Yeah, this is one of the courses you'll be facing, and it's very straightforward. Maya will be clicking the buttons here as we move through it. But first, maybe we'll take a look at the modules to show you how the course is set up. As the title indicates, it is the Leadership Org Development course. This is typical where all these courses you'll see will have these components to it: announcements, list the modules, and go to the assignments, grades, who's in the course, and of course a chat area. One of the things that we've really done well with is the ability to communicate in the online environment. And I think you'll find that using this platform that we have now, we can do that quite easily. We recently, the beginning of this year, moved to a new platform that houses our courses. Maya, if you could just click those assignments here, and it'll show you how easy it is to spot the work that you would have to do, and it lays out the course for you. These are the different steps that are required in the classes, and these are the graded components. It is a chronologically ordered class where it builds up to the final project, covering whatever subject you may be in. In this case, it's the leadership. This is one of the areas we look at about how to do it. In this case, we're looking at the Citigroup case, and you will analyze the case and then select your answer. Sometimes we'll give you different ways to answer it. Sometimes we'll be very specific. In this one, we have a worksheet that you can fill in. So we lay out the format to you. That way we can direct you directly to what we want to talk about. And this is part of that change template I was talking about, and you would address each of these components as you go throughout the course. Another very handy thing, I'm talking about the rubrics now. We've learned through the years that it becomes sometimes challenging to be very specific about what we want you to learn in a particular area. So in each assignment, we provide you with the rubrics. The rubrics are the guidelines that the instructor will use to grade your paper, focusing you on the learning areas that we want to concentrate on. In each one of these areas, in this case, the different milestones in the course. In this particular example, the final project is built upon milestone 1 and milestone 2. So it builds your information as you're developing your references and your citations, and it leads to hopefully a satisfactory final project for the paper. Also in the course, you'll see where the paper, we indicate what the value is of each part. We can go to the mod, let me see where we were here, the assignments, for example. and move them around, milestone assignments, final projects, and so on. It gives you the total for each one. I think the important thing to realize here that as you go through this, and this is a rather understandable presentation of the course, your instructor, your professor will always be with you going through this. We offer you in the course rooms answers to your questions. We hold sessions for you to ask questions. You can communicate with us all the time, and each professor answers at different times of the day, of course, but we can go through that with you and be able, excuse me, be able to help you along the way. While this is online and independent learning, at the same time, we're here to help you through it. These sections, you have target dates to submit them, and you get feedback with each course. You're rated on each one of the areas of the assignment. And then we have a narrative sections where I can make my comments about, you did this part well. I might have thought you needed a little more strength talking about the other part. And of course, on all the assignments, we have the writing standard that is basically used in all business programs called the APA manual. That's something the Writing Center can help you with. It's not it looks complicated, but really when you get down to the parts that we use, it's very simple to do, and it makes your paper look professional and fall in line with the standards of the business community. Each course, when we start, there's an introduction to it and a time to get used to it, and they progress along in an orderly manner. And they are challenging, but achievable. And that's the purpose of all these courses. You will find the courses getting progressively a little more difficult as you go through. Everyone joins these programs with different levels of background. Some courses you may find extremely easy because of your experience. Others may be a little more challenging. The same is true of any course itself. That's why I always advise people, when you get into a course, go through the whole syllabus, go through the whole assignment section, see which ones you think are going to be a little more difficult for you, and identify the ones you say, well, I know about that, so that might be a little easier. That way it helps you plan your journey through the course. If there's one piece of advice I could give you at any course you take at any time, at any location, is the commitment you need to make. Develop a schedule and try your very best to stick with it. Have dates in mind. We give you the opportunity to do that here. Make sure you are constantly doing something about it. Life challenges come up for everyone. You, the professor, everybody. We understand that. We work around things as best as we possibly can. We are working adults. The majority of us are working adults, and we try to accommodate all those challenges that come up. Health, children get sick, cars break down, power goes out. It happens. You'll find us here, I believe, in my 22 years in academics, to be one of the most call the word agreeable to understand those type of situations and work through them. We can get a lot more detailed into this and answer your questions later, but that is just a general overview of what a course outline looks like. And you'll find yourself, most people that I work with, they're familiar with this in about the first week or two. Once you poke around and look around, about a week into it, 10 days, you start to feel familiar, like, oh yeah, I can do this, and it's not going to scare me. So I'll turn it back to Mai now, but I can answer your questions later on if you'd like. Thank you very much.
Great, thanks a lot, Dr. Bill. All right, I'm so glad to be seeing that we're getting a couple of questions already, especially when it comes to learning. Please, guys, don't hesitate to ask about that, assignments or anything like that. And with that, I would love to ask our first question to our learners today. This one's Ryan, can you tell us a bit about your studying style with Nexford? How do you manage your study schedule around your life?
So thank you, Maya, for asking that question. I think that's a very good question for me because, like many people, I work an 8-to-5 job. So it's difficult to find time during the week to actually sit down and work on my MBA. And I've actually found a great way to come around that. And for me, I've made some sacrifices. One of the sacrifices I've made is On Sundays, I work on my MBA from 8 to 5. So it gives me sufficient time to go through the work in detail, see what's happening, acquaint myself with the Nexford system, and also then to kind of formulate my thoughts in preparation for the assignments. So the assignments are fun. It's relevant case studies that you work with, and you never feel bored when you're actually working on an assignment because you know it's relevant. It's how do I say, hip and happening in the world right now. So you're not working on a case study that is, let's say, 50 years old, and technology has changed so much. So yeah, to bring it back to my learning style, yeah, I've made some sacrifices, and currently I'm loving it. I try to live a good work-life balance. So I try to get the best of both worlds. And yeah, that's what I do at this stage.
Amazing. Thanks a lot for sharing, Ryan. All right, and then I have a question for Alan here. So, Alan, since you have already graduated, I'm sure you have a lot of stories to tell everybody, but I'll just ask you if you can tell us some notable things about your experience with assessments and assignments and professor feedback as well.
Thank you so much, Maya, and everyone. You know, if you give me all the time, not just some, I've got a lot of notable experiences with Nexford. Like I say, let me start with the assignment, which Dr. Bill just touched on, the assessment of the assignment. You know, for me, I did my undergraduate program here in Nigeria, and there's a system, there's a certain way whereby you are graded. And so I came into Nexford with that kind of mindset without paying attention, especially I think I wasn't paying attention to the orientation program where some of this information were given. That's talking about my early days. And so I just thought like, it's just like a typical university, let's just get it done and all that. And I got a lot of shocker because when you look at the rubric system, whereby it focuses on content, focuses on organization style and grammatical correctness. It changes the entire grading system, how it is. So for example, before I knew about some of these things, I would just focus on my assignment without looking at the rubrics to say what the rubrics wants and demands. Some rubric can say, I want a presentation. And for me, I remember a mistake I made. I thought, okay, it's just a presentation until I submitted an assignment and the professor said, you are required to embed like a video. You're supposed to do a previous presentation I'm like, wow. You know, and I went back to the rubrics to see some of the requirements. I thought, oh my God, I missed this. I should have looked at this. And that's one of the beautiful things about Nexford. You know, it's more like you have your own marking script before the time. You could actually score yourself by looking at the rubrics and understanding what is required of you. Now, talking about the assignments, I mean, I usually tell people, and two things I'm going to tell people. First of all, don't delay your assignments till late deadline. For example, I live in Nigeria, and there's this thing students do in Nigeria where it's like permutation. You're trying to say, okay, the platform says 12 midnight, so 12 midnight in the US should be like 5 a.m. in Nigeria. Okay, I still got time. I still have a lot of time. I'm going to work it. But there's something that happened to me one of those times when I was working late into the night, and for some reason I just dozed off, you know, before the time, and I was like, God, it's 5 o'clock. I couldn't submit. You know, thank God and thank goodness for the kind of faculty we have in Nexford, whereby you could always reach out and send an email to your professors. I mean, I schooled in Nigeria for a while. I can remember ever writing my professor and asking for an extension or that kind of thing. I mean, if you missed it, you've missed it. But then reaching out to my professor then and telling them, this is, sorry, I missed my deadline. Can I please ask for an extension? And then he graciously gave me 2 or 3 days to do that. And so the next thing I want to talk about is the feedback from professors. You know, there's a great feeling that comes with the scoring system in Nexford. Honestly speaking, when you get an A, there's this adrenaline, there's this excitement that just comes and makes you feel like, I did it. Yes, I put in the work and I got this grade. I remember for most of the time during my study in I used to do screenshots of my grade and my professor's comment, and I will upload it on my WhatsApp status. And I was like, guys, I did it, man. This is what I'm doing. And that is because the professors at Nexford actually take their time to read the assignment, understand it, and grade it. You know, there was a time I was speaking with my spouse, and I said, I just did it. I said, are you sure they're really reading this thing? Because I feel like I've been getting a lot of A's recently. And then she said, of course, you did the work, you got it. So I said, okay, you know what? I'm not going to put in a lot of work this time around. I'm just going to just do the usual thing. And I was surprised I got a C. And it dawned on me that actually the professors at Nexford actually take the time to read your assignment and give feedback. I mean, someone that's, I remember someone like Dr. Olguin, who wouldn't just leave a comment. Dr. Olguin would actually also send a voice note in addition, you know, and highlighting some of the punctuation, some of the errors, and some of the ways that you could actually put your thought better so that your assignment could be better. That's one of the dynamics, what beautiful things about studying here at Nexford. And I usually say, you know, different professors have different requirements. And so don't ignore the comments, the feedback from your professors, okay? Take your time, read it, and then use it to do a better job next time. So those are just some. I mean, I could go on and on talking about some of my notable experiences with the faculty here at Nexford. Thank you, Maya.
Amazing. I loved hearing those stories for sure. Thanks a lot for sharing, Alan. All right, let's put a pause on these questions for our learners. I'll get back to you guys in a second. We can go back to sharing our screen again so I can tell you guys some more elements from our online learning. Okay, so here we are again. I know I told you guys I would get back to some things. So one of those was the writing lab, right? So I mentioned that this isn't a course that you get enrolled in. It's not one of the courses that is embedded in your Nexford program. Rather, it's a resource that you always have access to throughout your online program. So when you click on the writing lab, it takes you to the ones for the courses. You'll see just a couple of announcements at the top, and I'll tell you what these are as well, but let's just talk about the writing lab first. So the writing lab it's meant for those that we understand, you know, not everybody's a natural born writer, especially for the types of assignments you may be required to do during your program. You're going to need help with that. You're going to need to understand what is APA formatting. This writing lab can help you with so much related to writing in general, whether, you know, you want to improve your academic writing, you need tips, you know, for your English skills and so much more. So let me show you some of the modules that are in here and what kind of things you can learn about. So as you can see, you're going to know everything you need to know about the APA style, you know, paraphrasing, how to avoid plagiarism in your assignments, for example, and grammar, of course, paragraph structure, and so much more. So there are also FAQs to answer any additional questions that you have. And if you still don't answer the question that you have, the great thing is that you can book a one-on-one session with our writing lab coach, Caroline Fernandez. So she's the one that, has these announcements, which I'll tell you about. But first, let's talk about the one-on-one session. So here she introduces herself for you guys just a little bit, and you can click on the one-on-one meeting link. It will take you to this booking page where you can have a 30-minute call or a 30-minute session with Caroline. Just pick a date, any timing that suits you, put in your details, and then book. And it's as easy as that. You'll have a 30-minute call scheduled with Caroline herself. You can ask her any question that you have related to writing. And if, on the other hand, you would rather have a call, with other learners around the world, then I would recommend you keep an eye on these announcements that she comes out with, where she announces that she holds these drop-in sessions. So these drop-in sessions are an alternative. These can be joined by more than one learner. In fact, we can even have more than 80 learners in one call. So these are often 30-minute sessions as well. I think it's super useful. You'll be hearing different questions. It's a great chance to meet other learners from around the world. We do have learners from over 90 countries around the world right now. So I think it's a great opportunity. And I think just hearing different questions in general might jog your memory about other areas you didn't realize you needed help in. So I think these drop-in sessions are super useful as well. Caroline announces beforehand, what topics she'll be covering. You'll find that these are even recorded. So if you happen to miss it or you wish to watch the playback, you can watch the recording as well. So that is the writing lab that is always there to help you. Aside from that, you'll find here also there's a library as well as a success scheduler. So what is a success scheduler? We have mentioned it a few times in the call. You have heard the term success advisor. So this success advisor is somebody you actually get assigned. You get assigned a personal and dedicated success advisor, specifically in the first few months of your program. They serve as your coach or your mentor. They're there to help you with any questions that you have related to writing. Related to your program, your Nexford program, whether it's an MBA or a BBA. So you can reach out to them literally 24/7. So there's 24/7 access to actually a team of success advisors as well as our faculty members. So if at any point you want to speak with your success advisor and you click on that booking link, it'll also take you to a similar page like the one for Caroline, where you can book a 30-minute call or a 30-minute session with your success advisor. If you're picking a closed date, you may find your personal success advisor unavailable. If it's Camille, for example, no worries. You can pick anybody else and they'll be more than happy to speak with you. Like I said, also just pick the timing and the date, put in your details and book. And it's that easy for you to have a call with a success advisor. Another way, of course, I mentioned was the inbox is one way you can communicate with them. You can send them an email as well. So there's a ton of ways. You'll never feel alone during your Nexford learning experience. You'll always find somebody you can reach out to help you. All right, and on that note, I'd love to ask our learners a question here again. Let's start with Ryan. If Ryan, you can tell us, how have you found the success team support during your learning journey? And by any chance, second question, have you had a chance to, reach out, to other learners for help?
Okay, thank you, Maya, for question number 2. About the success team, I absolutely love them. There's no other word for that. They have been so good to me from the first email that I sent to Nexford, just inquiring about the MBA. And from then onwards, they've been there by sending me reminders or just getting in touch just to see how am I coping, because they know the beginning phase of study at Nexford can be quite tricky, especially when you start working off with the Nexford platform. But in actual fact, the more you work on it, the easier it becomes. And just having the success advisor at my disposal, just for a quick call, just to say, how's this happening? Can you help me with this? It's been fantastic. So my relationship with Nexford has never been stagnant to emails. So I like that I've been able to put a person to the university, which has been fantastic for me. Second question, if I remember correctly, it's about meeting fellow learners. Yes.
Yeah,
so
you reach them for help sometimes.
Yes, so I think I've had probably the best experience meeting people from Nexford, but I know everyone thinks the first step is it's going to be so daunting. I'm going to study this MBA alone. It's going to be so scary. It's not going to work for me, when in actual fact, it's the opposite. It's like Maya said at the beginning, there are the WhatsApp groups that are fantastic to meet new people and just to hear what they're struggling with, where you can help them, where they can help you. And even just the socialization that happens in the chat on the modules. If you look under announcements, learners frequently communicate there and they'll express what they like about the course, what they don't like about the course. And there's always someone that, puts out their LinkedIn information out there. And I usually add them because they're interesting people to talk to. And I've actually made some great friends through that. And we've connected on LinkedIn. We've had video calls. We've built a solid relationship and we've never seen each other, which is fantastic. But in my experience with Nexford, I've actually met someone that lives 20 kilometers away from me, and we enrolled at the same time, and it's been fantastic. And we've been each other's study buddies since. And it's truly an amazing experience because you're not alone. Because I know if I had to do the MBA alone, it would be very discouraging and demotivating because there are other people out there. And just reaching out to someone, even if it's a success advisor, it's truly a great experience because they can always connect you with a group or a few people that are out there that can socialize with you. So there definitely is plenty of opportunity to meet different people.
Happy to hear that, Ryan. I think not everybody grabs that opportunity, to sort of make a friend. And I'm so glad you've had that experience. I will always reiterate this, guys. We have learners from over 90 countries around the world. Like, I'm sure you're going to be able to find somebody you can connect with, somebody who can be your study buddy. Just don't hesitate, don't feel shy. I'm sure on the other side, they're also waiting for you to just reach out to them. And yeah, definitely studying online, you'll never feel alone. I'd love to hear Alan's 2 cents on this as well. So the 2 questions, if you want me to repeat them, let me know.
Sure, thank you, Maya. I understand the question. So you're asking me about my experience with the success advisor. I say this everywhere, but Nexford has the best customer service in the world from my personal experience. And I'm not just saying this because before I started consulting, I worked in a bank for about 4 years, 5 years as a customer service representative. And so one of the things I look out for in institution everywhere, whether I'm buying a car, whether it's grocery, anything, I'm always looking out for that customer service element. And, until I met Nexford, I used to brag and say that I think so far in the world, Amazon has one of the best customer service. But then I came in contact with Nexford. I'm like, wow, who are these guys? They're so just like Ryan said, these guys, they make you feel like family, and it's the community is so warm and loving. And like I tell people that with Nexford, you never walk alone. You never walk alone because there's always somebody with you every step on the journey. For example, when I enrolled during my foundation courses, I mean, this is like new to me. I thought I was going to just be wandering, just trying to do things myself until I got someone was saying to me by the name Alan Ford. He said, I still remember the name even over 2 years. And we built a relationship Alan was so everything. She was always checking up on me, grades. There was a particular time I had a very bad grade. And Alan just said, schedule a meeting with me. I was like, how is work? Because from the initial meetings, we talked about family, talked about work and everything. And so it's not just about academics, there's also the psychological aspect, psychological support. And so I remember that Alex started telling me about, okay, you know what, maybe you need to take a break because of these things, this one and that one. And so for me, I say that it's amazing having these guys, they are your guy. They got you every step on this journey. And I like to say this, it doesn't matter. You can actually reach out to them like 1,000 times in a day, and these guys will still respond to you. It's just amazing. I don't know where it is done anywhere in the world. You just reach out any questions. They go the extra mile, just to ensure that you have a wonderful experience on your journey. And so that's one of my experience. The experience I've had with the social advisor. I want to talk about connecting with other learners. Nexford has given me an opportunity to meet quite a lot of people, not just Nigeria, people from other countries, Indonesia, or the US, other part of UK, and all of them met them through Nexford because there are platforms, there are opportunities for you to connect. For example, the LinkedIn platform is there. I usually share this joke that I think my LinkedIn profile increased when I joined Nexford because as soon as I updated my profile that I was studying at Nexford, I started getting invites, connections from everywhere, and people connecting. And some of those relationships, till today, we still meet, like in Abuja where I stay. There's a Nexford community space where you get to meet, hang out, share ideas, and then learn from each other. And so it's the relationship actually goes beyond Nexford University. You know, for example, on Saturday, this Saturday, I'm hanging out with some of my Nexfordians, and we just have a good time. But there's this experience I also want to say, because I know that a couple of Nigerians here in this group. I remember there was a time when I was required to submit my transcript to the school. And so for most people, every Nigerian listening knows how that could be an issue, you know, getting your transcript from a Nigerian university and all of that. And all I just did was to put it on the Nexford WhatsApp group. I said, okay, this is where I schooled. I need contacts. I need help with anybody who could help me with getting my transcript from the school. And voila, I mean, someone reached out to me, he gave me the contact, and something I've been struggling with for the past 2 months, just on the Nextword platform, the WhatsApp group, I got the help. And so, like I said, it goes beyond just Nexford. You know, it's a great opportunity. Thank you.
Fantastic. I absolutely loved hearing that. Thanks a lot for sharing, Alan. Very, very motivating. Let me share my screen again. Okay, so we're nearing the end of our webinar here, guys. So if we run a little over, apologies for that. If anybody has work or some other appointment, that's understandable. The good thing is that this is being recorded, so you will be receiving a recording or a playback of this webinar. You should also be able to watch a playback on our YouTube channel once it's uploaded. So no worries if you have to, you know, jump out of the webinar at any point, but thanks for joining us so far. And please don't forget to put in your questions though in the Q&A box. I know some of you have already asked a couple of questions and it's being responded by one of our Nexford advisors, being very helpful in the background. So I would still love to answer some of your questions live. So please do send those in so we can get to them in a bit. Having said that, let's jump back. So here I want to talk about finally just the Nexford learner benefits that you get. So one of which is LinkedIn Learning. Let me tell you about that. So if you haven't heard of LinkedIn Learning, it is through LinkedIn, you would be able to get access to over 16,000 courses and videos covering so many different topics. So these can be any topics or any areas that aren't even included or related to your Nexford program. The great thing is as a Nexford learner, you get unlimited access to this. So you can do side-by-side learning with your program. You'll even find that some courses or videos on LinkedIn Learning are actually embedded as a suggestion within some of the modules or some of the courses within your MBA or your Nexford program. So I definitely recommend this. A lot of our learners love this benefit. You'll see that they share their certificates of completion on LinkedIn. You know, it's something you can definitely add to your CV or your resume. It's a great way to show your employer or, you know, or just your community or your friends and so on that you are doing additional learning even side by side to your Nexford program. So that's one of the benefits. You also can get access to, of course, the NXU library. So this is a really robust library. It has over 60 million resources that cover so many different topics and industries around the world. You'll find that there are encyclopedias, research papers, and so much more. This is just an overview of that. As you can see, it's covering so many different topics. So you can use this, of course, as a resource, you know, for research throughout your Nexford program. You can even do this for reading, which can help you in general, whether it's for your job or your career. All right, so that is the NXU library. Next, I want to talk about digital badges. So digital badges are these things that you receive once you complete certain courses. So it's not for every single Nexford course, but for some of them, you do receive these digital badges that have these fun names like data-driven decision maker. You'll find financial decision supporter. So I know this may not make a lot of sense to somebody who isn't studying with Nexford. The great thing is anybody can click on these, and it'll take you to this official page by Badger. It shows that it's a verified badge, and it tells everybody what skills and what knowledge you actually gained in order to be awarded this digital badge. So that is the earning criteria. Right, so that is one of the ways we show recognition. Some of our learners even make it a hobby to sort of collect these digital badges. I think it's a great way for motivation as well. All right, finally, I want to talk about our career services portal. So it's one of the common questions we get also is, how exactly will you be helping me with my career? Will I still be receiving help during or after my Nexford program? And so on. So the simple answer is yes. We are constantly helping you, with career-related areas. For example, if you're taking our MBA, your first career planning session actually starts during your 3rd month learning with us. So anybody who's listening to this part so far, I do recommend you go to the career page on our website, on Nexford's website, to learn so much more about this. But let me give you an overview. So we have already discussed LinkedIn Learning, right? So that is one of the benefits you get that can definitely help you with your career. Another platform is IBM Digital Nation Africa. So if you are based in Africa, then you can have access to this. This covers, I think, more AI, cybersecurity, tech-related, courses and topics. So I definitely recommend you check this out as well if that is more your area of interest. And then we have Localized. So Localized is a platform where you can also create a profile for yourself. You can get connected with career coaches and mentors around the world. You can even join virtual job fairs. So it's super helpful as well, career-wise. I recommend you also explore this to learn more. And if you have questions, of course, reach out to our team at any point. So that is Localized. And last but not least, I want to talk about the Global Grid. So the Global Grid is an initiative, a brand new one that we actually launched just a couple of months ago. It's a mentorship program, and it's to enable talent around the world to prepare for remote jobs. You'll find that there are webinars. These live webinars that we hold regularly are actually open to the public, but then we have these group mentoring sessions that are, of course, exclusive only for Nexford learners. And these are, done by our mentors, which are handpicked for their industry expertise, and they work in companies like Samsung and Coca-Cola. This is one of the greatest benefits I think you get as well, being a Nexford learner. You'll also find Forage. So this is sometimes also embedded in your Nexford course. If you find that there's a certain area that this is related to the topic that you're studying, we'll put that suggestion there for you. It's definitely only optional, but we also partnered with Forage for this. So it's a career resource to get virtual work experience at real companies though. So that is companies like JP Morgan and Accenture. It's a free resource that complements your learning and you get to apply the skills that you learn. Plus, you can choose to share the task submissions that you do here actually with recruiters, which can eventually lead to interview opportunities for internships. So I think it's definitely something people should also explore. Right, last but not least, and this is one of my favorite personally, is that every Nexford learner actually gets a tree. So if you care about the environment, if you care about making the world greener, the way we do, you'll be happy to learn that we teamed up with Tree Nation a few years back, I believe. So we actually have a forest in Tanzania where if you actually enroll with Nexford, we will plant a tree for you. You can track it. You'll receive progress for that as well. We've planted over 6,000 trees so far and are super excited to do more. It's definitely in line with, the climate action and the UN's goal number 4 for quality education. So just read more about this here as well. I think this is one of the exciting and sort of fun things that can happen as well from being a Nexford learner. All right, just to wrap up quickly also, in regards to the career services portal, if at any point you wish to still have access to all of these learner benefits, you can join something called Alumni Access. So this is definitely for graduates. So once you've graduated, if you wish to still have access to your full program and all of your courses and everything, so that is our online, program. You can do so by joining Alumni Access. So this is what it currently costs is just $15 a month or $150 a year. So that includes LinkedIn Learning, of course, revisiting your courses, our NXU library, like I mentioned. You also get a Microsoft 365 license as an Nexford learner, and finally IBM Digital Nation Africa if you are based in Africa. So this is to answer the common question we get about whether or not you can still have access to all of this after you graduate, and if we can still help our learners even after graduation. This is definitely one of the ways that we can do that. All right, guys, I think I have covered as much of the platform as I could. I know we're running a little over, so for those, like I said, that need to leave, don't worry, this is being recorded, so you will receive a recording in your mailbox, or of course, you can watch the playback on YouTube. But for now, I will answer some questions live, and I'm super excited to do that. This is one of my favorite parts. I love definitely helping you guys. So let us see what questions we have so far. All right, we have a question from Ikechuku Ijike. I'm sorry again if I'm saying the name wrong, but you have two questions. One of which is, what is the quickest period the course can be finished? And second, for experienced persons who may have been through some of these modules under the different auspices, what options are there? Okay, let me answer the first one, and I think I'll give the second question actually to one of our learners. So let's try the first one first. So the quickest period the course can be finished. Honestly, I think it depends on each person, but let me just clarify. How is it that any Nexford learner can finish their program faster? So there's two ways. The first of which is that you finish your course faster than the 2 months. So every course at Nexford is designed to take you 8 weeks to complete. In fact, 2 months is the deadline for every single course within your program. You can finish it in a month though. So even if you finish it a little under a month, you would still not be able to enroll in the next course until the beginning of the next month, because every Nexford course starts at the beginning of every month. So that's one way, is finishing every course in 2 months instead of 1 month. The second way is actually enrolling in more than one course at the same time. So you can enroll in up to 4 courses at the same time, and that is one of the ways that you can definitely finish your program faster. So imagine instead of finishing 1 course every 2 months, you're finishing, let's say, 4 courses every 2 months. So that is, you know, of course, you'll finish your program faster. You'll also pay less because you only pay for the months that you spend studying at Nexford. The quickest period also depends on the length or the average duration of the program. So for the BBA so far, the fastest that we've seen somebody finish, I think, is around 2 years. So that would be half the time. So normally the BBA, or our Bachelor of Business Administration, takes around 4 years to complete. You can finish it in around 2 years. For our MBA, the average is 1.5 years. That's 18 months. We have found learners finish in just a year, under a year, even 6 to 8 months. The fastest I think we've seen is 5 months, but that's only probably happened once. I think that's quite difficult. So I would still recommend you guys pace yourself. It really depends on your goals. It depends on your grades. Keep in mind that the higher your grade is, the more you'll be able to take more than one course at the same time. So you need to have a high GPA that can allow you to show that, hey, I am able to finish these amount of courses, and I can do it and keep and maintain my actual good GPA, and that can allow you to, you know, enroll in up to 4 courses at the same time. So that is how I think I can explain the first question. As for the second, I don't know, Alan or Ryan, who would like to take this question? Because it's related to modules, where it says, for experienced persons who may have been through some of these modules under different auspices, what options are there?
I'm going to take a whack at it. I don't think I'll get it 100% correct, but if I understand correctly, there is, sorry, I'm just trying to formulate my thoughts as I go along.
No
There
worries.
the work you go through in Nexford, it might seem at a point that it does become textbook, but that is good because that means you are on par with university standards, if that makes sense. There is a difference where it comes to case studies. You can take the option of going through the LinkedIn Learning, which is also fantastic. I've done a few courses through LinkedIn Learning, and I must say I've learned a lot. But also through Nexford, you do get the value of the case studies and worksheets that you do work through, which is almost like a traditional university, but it becomes strategic. It makes you think to a point where you're not sitting in a class where you kind of have to think through the course content that is given to you. And teach yourself to be a strategic thinker at the end of the day. So it's part of the skills that you learn through Nexford, and it's not always related to the theory, if that makes sense. So I tried my best, and I hope that gave you some sort of answer over there.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Ryan. Ikichoku, if it still doesn't answer your question, or if you need more clarification, please just send in another question. We're happy to help further. All right, let me answer this question from Ayanabe, who's asking about Nexford accreditation. So just to clarify, guys, currently Nexford is licensed by HELC, which is the Higher Education Licensing Commission in Washington, D.C. It's the same organization that licenses all physical universities operating in DC. We're also accredited by ASIC, which is a UK-based international organization. We have other recognitions, which you can discover on our accreditation page. So everything that we currently have is stated on Nexford's accreditation page. So that is where you can definitely get more information. And please don't hesitate to reach out to our team for further clarification at any point. We're super happy to help. All right, Edna Anikan Udo is asking, are transcripts given to graduates of Nexford University? Yes, definitely. So upon graduation, you will be receiving a copy of your official Nexford degree certificate, as well as your transcript. You can request for these to be sent, these are being sent digitally. So it's an official copy, but a digital copy, since of course Nexford is online, but you can definitely request a physical copy as well. Sometimes they may have different fees depending on where you are around the world for us to ship that to you. However, this may change with time, so it depends on the time that you graduate. Just ask our team and they'll be super happy to assist you with that. All right, I believe every other question has been actually answered by our amazing Nexford advisor that's been helping me throughout the call. Any final questions, guys, you'd like me to answer live? If not, I think we can actually wrap up our webinar. It'll give you guys a minute. If anything else comes to mind, I'm super happy to answer it for you. I see a question I might have missed on chat here, actually, from Hamzat Aditunji, who's asking about computer science. So no, Nexford does not currently offer computer science. We do offer programs related to cybersecurity or advanced artificial intelligence. That is something you can learn about. So that might be something that you're interested in. I would recommend you look into that, but unfortunately, it's not directly specific to computer science. What else, guys? All right. I think we can wrap things up if we're not getting any more questions. For anybody who's joined us or everybody who's joined us today, I'm super happy that you did. I hope you enjoyed the virtual tour. Keep in mind, you can reach out to our team anytime on WhatsApp if you have further questions. I also hold these virtual tours one-on-one, so we can have a quick 50-20 minute sort of virtual tour, which you can book on my calendar. You'll find the booking link for that on our website also. Please don't hesitate. We're super excited for you guys to start learning with us. We're here to help you succeed. I hope you guys enjoyed the webinar. Okay, guys, my team, sorry, if you can help also send the WhatsApp link on chat. I know some people are asking about that, so we can send you the WhatsApp number as well so that you can chat with our team of advisors on WhatsApp. Okay, fantastic. All right, thanks, guys. Thank you so much, Dr. Bill. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Ryan. Thanks for co-hosting with me today. It's been great.
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye,
Bye,
everyone. It's
Alan.
been great to be here.
Bye, Ryan.
Bye.
Bye.